One of the more common types of questions I find myself getting on a somewhat regular basis, besides all the questions about the model or proofs or Bible verses or that kind of stuff, are the understandable questions that usually go something like, I tried telling my family about the flat earth and now they all think I'm crazy, or I don't know what to do because now all my friends on Facebook think I'm a freak, and these kinds of things. I tried to explain to my dad about why there's no curvature, and I thought he would understand, but he just won't listen, and this sort of thing. And overall, it's just something that I think anyone who goes down the road of looking into conspiracies, looking into truths that are obviously not accepted by the mainstream, accepted by the norm, accepted as normal or even sane. These are the kinds of experiences you're going to have on a personal relationship level. And it's always a little difficult when people ask about that in a comment or an email, or even if you're talking to them over the phone or whatever. It's because, every situation is unique, every relationship is unique. There's really no formulaic advice I can give for, here's how to talk to your parents, here's how to talk to your spouse, here's how to talk to your children, here's how to talk to your friends and relatives. Because everyone's coming from a different place, everyone's got a different context, a different background, and a different place that they're in their own life. And so I was talking about this whole issue not long ago with a good friend, and he was recommending that I point people to something that was made a number of years ago by a guy named Chris White. He made a short video called "They Think I'm Crazy When I Talk About the New World Order," and he does have a lot of good practical advice that I would echo to anyone, because in some ways a lot of it could just be summed up as learning to kind of chill out. Don't think you have to try and share this newfound knowledge with everyone you know and expect them to just be blown away by it. He talks about something called New World Order freakout syndrome, right, where basically, especially in your first year of being exposed to all this new information and all these deceptions, and the world is not what you think it is, this whole paradigm shattering experience, whatever. And it's kind of it's a crazy time. And that's what's interesting for a lot of people who, with the whole flat earth issue, is that for a surprising number of people, this is their first real exposure to any of the fact that there actually is this thing called the New World Order or the Illuminati or conspiracies and all the rest. So, they're going through all of that, all of the typical, my family thinks I'm crazy because when I talk about the New World Order stuff. But I honestly I can't even really imagine what it would be like to experience that kind of persecution on the level that flat Earth actually provokes. The visceral reactions that people have to flat Earth. It's just beyond. It really is beyond the kinds of reactions people will have to things like, 9/11 being an inside job. People might be repulsed by it or roll their eyes or think it's crazy, but there's just a whole different level with cosmology and flat Earth, obviously, because we've all been programmed from such a young age to just think it's the stupid. It really epitomizes stupid, and that's how we hear it used in TV and the media and everything. It's like a byword. It's a pejorative term for like the stupidest thing a person could possibly believe. So it can get lonely, and like I said, I wish I had some, magic advice or some secret trick that I'd learned over the years to how to open people's eyes to the uncomfortable truths that at times, even after you've seen them and believed them, there's, we all have those days where we sometimes feel like we'd never had. We all have those blue pill days where we could just, go back to when life seemed to make sense and things weren't so crazy and scary and messed up. But It's once you've seen it, once you've seen through the lies, once you've seen, you really can't unsee it. And there've been times where I tried, where I was just done looking into it. Wasn't gonna listen to any more podcasts or interviews or watch any videos or read any articles or blogs. I was just gonna turn off the entire alternative media truth community completely and just not think about it, not just push it out of my mind as much as possible. And unless you're gonna go live in live in the woods and block yourself off from modern society and not look at the news and not watch TV, have no contact with TV or movies or radio or anything. Unless you're going to go live in a cave, it's pretty impossible not to see it, not to think about it, because it's the agenda and the propaganda just keeps coming. And you won't be able to believe it anymore. And it can be a very strange existence, I will admit. Because on the one hand, you see what a delusion so much of it is. You see that people living their lives like they think they're in some kind of commercial. Even if they don't think that life is just a big bowl of cherries and they think it's all perfect and wonderful, they're still obviously believing in constructed narratives. They're still buying into, many layers of the social engineering. And I don't claim to be completely cleansed and removed from all that myself either. Obviously, it's kind of an ongoing process, but I'd be lying to anyone if I said it was easy. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't very lonely at times. And that's kind of been one of the strange experiences of this whole process of starting a little YouTube channel and having more and more people come and watch and give feedback, and one day realizing there's like thousands of people who are there to agree with you and not think you're crazy and give amazing feedback and share their own research. And there is a community aspect to it. As much as I kind of thought that was, as much as I tried to kind of resist that for a long time or just think it was kind of cliche, and it is a community. You get to know these. You feel like you get to know people when you listen to them and you watch them over time. And you sort of you share that experience of seeing the things that the people around you don't see. And honestly, there have been times where I would have traded all of this, all these people out there that I are not part of my everyday life. I'd trade all that in a second if it meant waking up the people that are in my immediate life. I suppose this might not be full of much in the way of practical advice, but ultimately the whole experience of learning about the New World Order and becoming some crazy flat earther person and all the rest, it has forced me to cling to my relationship with God more than ever. All in all, in the end, how much is that worth? How much of a blessing is that? And I think that's what God is doing in many, many of our lives out there. And it's just, many people struggle with their being persecuted in their churches or in Christian circles because of flat earth and everything. And, the reality is that oftentimes God calls us out to just, walk with Him, knowing that the body of Christ is alive and is out in the world, but in a large degree we won't get to fully experience the joy and the fellowship that so much of the time we crave until we get to that wedding feast. I definitely look forward to that day and getting to sit down with so many of you out there who I wish I could just spend time with, now, but we've been called to where we are and to pray for those around us and to speak the truth with patience and love. So, God bless you guys. But he just won't listen, and this sort of thing. And overall, it's just something that I think anyone who goes down the road of looking into conspiracies, looking into truths that are obviously not accepted by the mainstream, accepted by the norm, accepted as normal or even sane. These are the kinds of experiences you're going to have on a personal relationship level. And it's always a little difficult when people ask about that in a comment or an email, or even if you're talking to them over the phone or whatever. It's because, every situation is unique, every relationship is unique. There's really no one of the more common types of questions I find myself getting on a somewhat regular basis, besides all the questions about the model or proofs or Bible verses or that kind of stuff, are the understandable questions that usually go something like, I tried telling my family about the flat earth and now they all think I'm crazy, or I don't know what to do because now all my friends on Facebook think I'm a freak, and these kinds of things. I tried to explain to my dad about why there's no curvature, and I thought he would understand.